السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. Marhaban. Welcome, guys. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful time, enjoying yourselves, enjoying this Friday. My name is Liaquat Zaman. Again, another Friday, guys. Week has just zoomed by, and Alhamdulillah, nice week. So Friday again, guys. And as usual on Fridays, we have a little updates on what's been happening in the week and if there's anything new going on. So let me know if the screen is working, and let me know also if the sound works as well. Yeah, hopefully it should be working, inshallah. So let's see if this is working. Okay, let's see. All right, so Ahlan wa sahlan, wa alaikum assalam, Abdul Rahman, Ahlan wa sahlan, back in the UK, mashallah, good to hear. Enjoying the nice rains. Today was raining quite a bit. So we had rain. It's sunny outside now, so it's a bit sunny. Early on it was raining. And if any of you guys have not been here have not visited the UK before, that's the kind of weather that we get. Yeah, so yeah, that's us, that is. Wa alaikum assalam, Amina, ahlan wa sahlan, alhamdulillah, it's working perfectly. And Muhammad, ahlan wa sahlan from the Prairie State. Ahlan wa sahlan from Chicago. Welcome. So I don't know if you guys saw last week the other channel that I've started. Yeah, so on there I'm going to be starting to put up more vlogs and cycling and other sort of like personal videos I'll put up on there, inshallah. And I'm going to dedicate Roots of Knowledge only to education. So it's going to be anything to do with education purposes. I'm going to do it on this channel. And as for the other one, that's going to be more to do with the what do you call it? Vlogs, cycling, and so forth. Actually, this guy was actually telling me that he had some drones that he sold. So he's saying basically what you can do is you can have a drone, and that drone can actually follow you. So I heard about this, but I didn't know how good it was. So like the drone follows you and records you as you're cycling or as you're walking. So that might be the next thing, inshallah, in the future, but not now anyway. What bike is the best for long distance? Which one do you use? It depends actually how much you're willing to pay. So you can, like, if you've got a lot of money, right, you basically they can cost what you'd pay for a car. Yeah, so you're looking at, if you're looking at really serious cycling, then you're gonna pay for like maybe like a cheap average car. One that you want to get is you want to get something which is a road bike with those curved handlebars and a light frame. So you can go for a carbon frame or you can go for aluminium frame. Those are usually the good ones. Wa alaikum assalam, Ottoman lad, ahlan wa sahlan from Turkey, mashallah, good to see you. I don't know any words in Turkish language, so I wouldn't be able to say anything. Probably end up, I don't know, saying some rude word or something. So, ahlan wa sahlan, inshallah, I will learn Turkish. How many miles did you ride in that last vlog? Last vlog was 40 miles. So the problem was the batteries died and the film itself, the memory, it was got full. So it was like a 3-hour journey. I don't know that, 40 miles, about 40 miles. Wa alaikum assalam, Zaidan, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome Zaidan, mashallah. Umar, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ahlan wa sahlan. Whilst in Pakistan, I saw these utensil bowls from which you drink, and Quran ayats had been engraved in the inside of the bowl. Is it okay to drink from this? Yes, it's okay. In fact, it's like some people, they actually use this as a means of ruqyah. So they write in the bowls and then they drink from them. So I've heard some people use that. Hope you're well, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah. Umar 0121. Umar 0121. That's the Birmingham way, bro. That's the Birmingham way. You got to 0121 all the time. I should watch Urtugal. Yeah, people say that to me. I should watch Urtugal, but I just don't have time, man. Wallah. Yeah, I heard that's a statement from there, isn't it? How will wasiya be distributed in the UK according to Islamic law? You mean inheritance, or are you talking about wasiya? Wasiya is basically where you ask someone to give after you die. You give something to someone. That's called wasiya, a bequest. And inheritance, I've done a whole series on inheritance, so you can check that series out. It goes through all the calculations of how to calculate and all that. Muhammad Mufti should invite Mona Rizwan Mustafa from the wedding podcast. He was really good. Inshallah. Inshallah, when we start the podcasts again. Inshallah. In case of divorce, how can we apply Islamic law as opposed to British law when it comes to owning assets, any estates and property? I don't understand. How can we apply Islamic law? So in this country, Islamic law can only be applied to an advisory level. So you can advise someone, but you can't implement it. So you can't implement it in that sense. I mean, I don't know the British law exactly. There might be some situations where a person can, so it might be best to speak to a solicitor about that. Wa alaikum assalam, Sufyan. Ahla wa sahlan. Wa alaikum assalam, mashallah, Sufyan. How's the Derbyshire? How's the weather up north? Is it permissible to showcase a bride on stage during walima, providing she has hijab? Yes, you can do that, but I mean, it's a cultural thing. It's permissible. It would be permissible as long as she's fully dressed and all that. But I mean, I personally would say that this is something that people should avoid. So just because it's done, it doesn't necessarily mean it's something which is good to do. If it's just family there, close family, then maybe it's okay. But you don't want everyone sort of displaying the bride to everyone, all sorts of people. I think people should keep that in mind. First live stream, have been a Muslim 4 months. Thank you for your time, James Harry. Ahla wa sahlan. Welcome, my brother, James Harry. First live stream. So that's a good one to put up there. So welcome to the channel, and hope you're enjoying your day, inshallah. So I've actually been thinking of going riding in the week, but the problem is I've just been so busy. Literally this week has been very busy with all sorts of things, with the classes I've got, and with other projects I'm doing and videos making, and so that's what happens. Gotta get into it. Gotta get into the flow of things. I think in the UK, I don't know how it is in other places, but life is very busy. Life is very fast. Life is very zooming past. Yes, inheritance check. So inheritance basically. So if you watch the video series, I explain in there. I mean, I can't obviously explain the whole inheritance in just 1 hour. That would require you gotta do the full course. So if you check online, check on my YouTube channel, you find it there. Should we attend weddings of our close ones if they would have haram stuff going on there? It depends what kind of haram stuff it is. If it's like loud music and things like that, it's best to avoid, I would say. If you are someone who's practicing, people look up to you, you're a scholar, you're an Imam, then definitely you should avoid it. If you're not, then I think you just attend, eat the food, then leave. And that's what, according to Hanafis, that's what the Hanafis say. Today I got some green tea, guys. Green tea, this is. Since the image quality has improved, we can't go back to the old quality, man. Look at that, the nice steam on the cup. You can even see that. Oh yeah. كيف حالك يا شيخ? Hope you remember me. Alhamdulillah, Zaidan. MashaAllah. Ahla wa sahlan. I think I remember you, Zaidan. Have we met? Assalamu alaikum. One from me. Gotta go pick up Safura from nursery and then Chaiwala. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, lucky Safura. She's getting to go to Chaiwala. Life is fast there, but the Muslims there are so close together, especially in Birmingham and Bradford and some other places. Yeah, definitely. Jazakumullah khair. Ahla wa sahlan. Valerie, nice on the tea. Jumu'ah Mubarak. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you have a wonderful Jumu'ah as well, Valerie. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, so weather was quite nice today. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweater today, so I do feel a bit cold because in the morning the weather was cold. Definitely. Yeah, it was quite cold. So, um, so time is going to change in the UK. So Sunday, I don't know if you guys know about this, but in the UK, twice a year the clocks go forward 1 hour and then go back 1 hour. So we have what is called daylight savings time. So this happens every year. It happens in the last Sunday of March and the last Sunday of October. Yeah, so just remember that. Last Sunday of March, last Sunday of October. Clocks go back, and it's a bit of a headache. I don't like it. It just causes lots of confusion, and especially people who have to do things according to time and like live streams, and then everyone gets confused at what times you're going to start. Yeah, people have more close-knit communities in villages, definitely. No, Sheikh, we haven't met, but I'm the Mughni Al-Labib guy who was grilling you last Friday about Nahu. Oh, yeah. Yeah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. MashaAllah. Yeah, so life is, I think, in the UK, depending on how much happens, yeah, how busy you are, life can become very, very so fast-paced life. And I remember in Pakistan, it's like very calm, relaxed paced life. People kind of get to have more social time, I think, over there. Over there's a lot more social time. In the UK, social time there is, but I think it's more around schools and all that. So that's another factor in the UK. Schools are quite strict. So, parents get restricted time with their children. And then you got like maktabs and all that. It happened 2 weeks ago for us. So you guys started on the first, you probably start on the first week of March, yeah? What is taqleed? Is it permissible to follow any other form of Imams of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? So what is taqleed? I've actually done a video on this, right, about madhabs. You can follow any madhab you want. There's no restriction on which madhab you follow. But the thing is, you should stick to one madhab. That's what the scholars say. However, if you're asking someone a question, whoever you ask your question to, as long as you believe that they're upright and they're knowledgeable, you can follow their answer, whichever madhab they're from. For the layperson who doesn't really kind of have any academic sort of skills, then that's what they do. And scholars, students of knowledge, they restrict themselves to studying, focusing on one madhab. Yeah, and taqleed basically is that you're following an expert, as opposed to picking up the Quran yourself and trying to figure out how to do things. Are irreversible and temporary contraceptions prohibited in Islam? Temporary ones are allowed as long as they don't contain anything that's haram. And irreversible ones, unless there's a dire need, no, not allowed. What would be an exemption for this? Which one? Are you talking about irreversible or temporary? Temporary or permissible? What's your elaborate thoughts on the book Ma'ani and Nahu? Ma'ani and Nahu is very good. Ma'ani and Nahu, I think, is for those people who want to try and understand the subtleties of differences between opinions. Yeah, so people who don't just want to, like, you won't learn Nahu, that you won't learn like basic Nahu from these books. These are books that you need to know a good level of Nahu beforehand. So you need to know a good level of Nahu beforehand to be able to understand Ma'ani and Nahu. And if you want to kind of go into that differences between, let's say, one grammarian takes shart and jaza, that the shart always has to appear before the jaza, then you can look in the Quran and you can see how the translation would be affected by taking one grammarian's approach and the other grammar. So that's where Fadl Samurai's book is very good. Irreversible, yeah. So it'd be permissible, for example, like let's say the woman is incapable of having any more children because of some health conditions that she has, or similar with the man, or the doctors have told them that it's going to be something which is going to be detrimental, dangerous, anything on those kind of lines. So you look at it from a case-to-case situation. Ahlan wa sahlan from the woods, peace be upon you, mashallah, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Masir Ali, have you ever read Izhar al-Asrar by Imam al-Birkawi. Izhar al-Asrar. I think so, Remind me what it's about. How can we learn what are the rights of the people closest to the masjid? Do they deserve the most da'wah? I don't know. I've never come across that point. People who are the most close to the masjid. I don't know. Salam, what books do you recommend to study along with Hidayah? This is a good question. What books do you recommend to study alongside Hidayah, Sharh Wiqaya, Kanz al-Daqaiq? Yeah, definitely. Kanz al-Daqaiq, you can read that. You're not really going to gain anything new with Kanz al-Daqaiq. Sharh Wiqaya, you will gain something new. Yeah, you can read Ikhtiyar as well. Yeah, or yeah. So Al-Mukhtar, which is the Sharh, you can read that. It all depends. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to just understand the masala? Then just sticking to Hidayah would be sufficient. If you want to go advanced and you want to start to delve into really advanced issues, new masalas, and topics which are not mentioned there, so then I would suggest reading something like Bahr al-Raik. You can actually study any book, I would say. It all depends upon how it's taught, what your aims and objectives are, what's your ability as well. If you're not very good, if you're not very strong in fiqh, then I would suggest something basic. Maybe like reading something like Ikhtiyar would be good. It's nice and easy to kind of follow. Even like I've found Jawharatul Nayyara is good as well with Hidayah, because he gives you a slightly different approach. Salam, Yasin, ahla wa sahla, wa alaikum assalam. What tea is it today? Today is kiwi tea. So I like the kiwi tea last week. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a bit more kiwi tea this week. So this is kiwi tea. Yeah, green, as you can see. For all of you guys who didn't see earlier, you can see this, the steam coming out of it as well. So yeah. Right. So what's Basra and Kufi school of Nahu? There's quite a few differences between Basra and Kufi school of Nahu. I've actually done if you watch one of my series, I've done a series on the history of Nahu. So it's a 3-part series. Check it out. And I talk a bit about the differences between Basra and Kufa and Nahu. Yeah, so check out my videos on that. Can we follow all the 4 madhabs like the Salafis claim to do? I don't think Salafis claim to follow all the 4 madhabs. But the scholars say it's disliked for a person to pick and choose. So this is why the layperson doesn't follow madhabs. The layperson follows the opinion of the scholar that they ask questions to. Wouldn't this go against the ayah, do not kill your children for fear of one? No, so this is not killing because they're not born yet. That's the thing. So if something hasn't come into existence, like if you think about this, one sperm, one like a drop of semen, right, contains thousands or even more, I don't know, hundreds or maybe thousands of sperm cells. So therefore, if one gets through, that means you're killing like the rest of the 100. So the ayah doesn't mean that. The ayah is talking about that people who are in poverty and they thought that they'd kill their children to save themselves from the hunger, that they've got 4 children and they'll kill one of them just so that the rest can eat. Allah prohibited that. What is the benefit of studying Musallam al-Thubut? Should it be read? Musallam al-Thubut is a very difficult book if you haven't studied like a lot of usul fiqh. I don't think you don't have to study Musallam al-Thubut. It's not necessary at all to study it. Like you can be an expert in usul, you won't even have to study that. The thing is, a lot of these book names, I think what tends to happen with students is they tend to think that if I've heard a scholar mention this book, if I haven't studied this book, I can't be a scholar. And that's not true. Right? You can actually be a very good scholar in usul hadith, usul fiqh, even if you haven't studied this. Like Nahu books, you can be a very good scholar in Nahu, even if you haven't studied some of the famous books. So Musallam al-Thubut is like what Kanz al-Daqaiq is to Hanafi fiqh. Very condensed. It's very difficult to navigate through yourself unless you've studied a lot of usul, I would say. Dear Mufti Fayaz Ahlan, when writing books, are illustrations with eyes allowed? Possibly, yeah. There's difference of opinion among scholars with regards to like cartoons, drawing cartoons. There's like scope for that. So there are difference of opinions among scholars about this issue. But I would say for educational purposes, then there'd be more scope, there'd be more room, flexibility. Wa alaikum assalam, mashallah, Aman Khansa, Maulana, ahla wa sahlan, jazakumullah khair, Umid ده چې تاسو طبیعت ښه دی تاسو ښه recently there's been a lot of controversy about some passages of Basti Zewer. What are your thoughts? I have no idea. I don't keep up to date with controversies. So unfortunately I wouldn't be able to help you out on that. I heard the madhahib are only for the tulab ilm and not for the layman's, and they have to only ask. Yes, that's true. What bike do you have? I have a I can't remember the exact model, but a Broadman bike. I think I put a picture up of it last time. So it has curved handlebars. It's a road bike. I think it's 28. Is it 28, 26, 28 inch tires? Can't remember. They said don't follow a madhab. Is Al-Bukhari and Al-Muslin important for a new Muslim? No, it wouldn't be. Yeah, because these are like very sort of like imagine like medicine. For an average person, a person who's not a doctor, medical books are irrelevant. Right? So these books were not written for the lay person. They were written for scholars, scholarly circles. This is why average person, you can read them later on once you start understanding the science of usul hadith, and then it'll start to make sense. I've only heard the ayah being interpreted from one point of view on contraception. No. In fact, according to Hanafis, contraception is permissible as long as both husband and wife are okay with it. That's what the Hanafis say. Is it permissible in Islam to compose poetry? Definitely, 100%. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Can a man wear a ring? If so, what's the ruling on the material used? So the Hanafis generally say, like later Hanafis, early Hanafis have not really discussed this masala in detail. Imam Muhammad has one statement about it, and someone asked him, and he said silver, 1 mithqal, which is about 4 grams. But later Hanafis have kind of taken that position, majority of them, and said only from silver. And some Hanafis have argued this point and said it's possible that it can be from another material as long as it's not gold. And that kind of opinion makes sense to me, especially in a time today where rings are made from all sorts of materials. So the prohibited materials, explicitly prohibited, are copper, pure lead, and copper, pure lead, pure iron, and sulfur. These are kind of things that were prohibited because they were not lead, sulfur, those 3, because these were kind of things that were generally considered to be materials used for making idols. So the Prophet ﷺ prohibited them. Zaidan, Sheikh, the Aqidah wars are killing me. Can't we just accept the both Athari? It's impossible one. Yeah, they're both fine, but they're both fine. I think people get confused because online people just love sort of like stirring politics and issues on. I don't get involved in any of these things. So totally fine. Yeah, Athari position is totally permissible. And Ash'ari position totally, Maturidi position totally permissible. Ya Allah. Arifa Ahmad, ahlan wa sahlan. I'm currently watching your How to Read the Quran series. It's really helpful. MashaAllah. Your comment deserves to go up here. Jazakumullah khair, Arifa. Thank you very much. And Alhamdulillah. I've actually, a lot of people have benefit from the Quran series. And it's really kind of like opening that so many people around the world are learning how to read Quran from that series. So I never imagined in the past that when I initially started that course, that series, that I thought people would actually learn how to read the entire Quran. I actually started it off with the intention, I'm just going to make a handful of videos on how to read the Quran just to get people motivated to read the Quran. And mashallah, a few people have contacted me and said they've actually started to read the whole Quran from watching the series from beginning to end. So Jazakumullah khair, alhamdulillah. I'm becoming confident in myself now, mashallah. Well done. Congratulations. And good on you. And may Allah put barakah in your studying and your efforts. Zaidan, one side has the likes of Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Qayyim and Ibn Kathir, Imam Dhahabi. Other side has giants like An-Nawawi, Ibn Hajar. How can I say one is exactly? That's it. Definitely. You see, the thing is, these issues were never meant to be political issues. These were never meant to be weaponized. Unfortunately, now what's happening is people are weaponizing all of this. And they're taking statements from here, taking one statement from here out of context and throwing it at each other. And that's where it becomes problematic. So if you've got like one Athari who is extreme Athari, and he declares other people who have this belief to be wrong, that doesn't mean that all Atharis are wrong. And it doesn't mean that the other group is wrong. And likewise, if you have extreme Ash'aris, because there are some extreme Ash'aris out there, like the Ahbash, who have declared kufr on so many people. So unfortunately, you get these kind of individuals out there. So you just have to understand that, there's nothing wrong with both these parties. Ibn Kathir was an Ash'ari, and Imam Dhahabi later on his life became a creed of Ibn Taymiyyah. Salam alaikum, Fayaz, ahlan wa sahlan. How would you explain the difference between fasid and batil in contracts in today's life? Like when it comes to nikah, many put stipulation for e.g. not allowed to take second wife. So sounds like, bro, I think it's sounding like your nikah's close. So basically, when it comes to mu'amalat, meaning transactions, buyu and ijara, shurut fasida will make the contract fasid. But if it comes to nikah, according to Hanafis, shurut fasida do not make the nikah fasid. In fact, the shart itself becomes laghu. It becomes ignored. Yeah. So basically, it's when you kind of like, when you look at the two dealings, if a person, for example, a woman says to a man, I will only marry you on the condition that you do not marry another woman. If a guy says, okay, that's fine, that condition does not have to be fulfilled. Right? It doesn't have to be fulfilled. Yeah, so that's basically what it means. So you can't impose on someone conditions in nikah in that sense. Salam alaikum. What do you do when a scientific discovery contradicts a Quranic verse? So give me an example. Give me an example of a scientific discovery that contradicts a Quranic verse. Remember, so you have to differentiate between scientific philosophies and scientific discoveries. So scientific discovery is simply an observation. Observations can never contradict the Quran. But scientific philosophies, that's something else. A scientific theory, that would be different. Yeah, so loving this channel. Well done, my brother. Alhamdulillah. Dua. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much. And your name is Dua, and you make dua for us, inshallah. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. As in, can he agree to that before nikah and then afterwards go on and marry? Yes. As in, there won't be any consequence. Yeah, so there will not be any consequences to not fulfilling that, not sticking to that condition. Yeah, there won't be any sort of like consequence to it. MashaAllah, alaikum assalam, Ra'is, ahlan sahlan. I'm very good, thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking, Ra'is. Alhamdulillah. How's your day been? How's your week been, actually? It's been a week now. So how's the week been going for you? So alhamdulillah, my week's been very well, guys, before you guys ask. And I've been enjoying the weekends coming up, so I'm going to enjoy a bit of rest. I've had a busy week this week. Actually, remember I was telling you, I had a 4-week, a 4-lesson, course, 4-lesson course, Cambridge ISOC. So I had the first one this week, alhamdulillah, it went quite well. And basically what I done was I kind of like condensed, or I slightly adjusted the course I done on evolution of fiqh, the first part. So I did that. Second part, hopefully I'm going to do the fiqh in the era of the Khulafa, summarize that. And then in the third section, I'm going to do more about fiqh and then usul fiqh. Just Hanafi fiqh and usul fiqh, inshallah. But that's unfair. What if she says, if you take another wife, then yeah, that is possible. See, that will happen because that's a consequence. So if the guy agrees to this, the divorce will actually occur. Yeah, the divorce will actually occur. if he does that. So if he agrees to a condition of that sort, yeah, that will have consequence. But otherwise, it won't have. You have to basically, to have consequence, you have to attach it to like something which, like divorce. Divorce is a legal matter. Is it true that 40 houses in every direction from the home should be given da'wah? I don't know. I haven't seen that anywhere. Yeah, I haven't come across that. Your thoughts on Najdi Dawah Salafiyya? I have no idea. I don't get involved in these kind of things. I mean, I don't know how you guys have so much time to research all about Najdi Dawah, Salafi Dawah, this and that. MashaAllah, you guys got some proper barakah in your time. Either you guys are just hearing little snippets of things, or MashaAllah, you guys have barakah in your time. I mean, I wish I had the time that you guys have. My week, let's think. Submitted 3 long assignments, been working till late nights, mentally rest. MashaAllah, that deserves to go on the screen. Yeah, that's a screen deserving comment there. Well done for making your channel really inspiring. Jazakumullah khair, alhamdulillah, and may Allah give me the ability to be able to continue making them, inshallah. Well done. Darwinian theory, for instance. So Darwinian theory, it's a theory. It's not a scientific fact. That's the thing. It's not a scientific discovery in itself. And what I would suggest about Darwinian theory is go and check out Brother Sabur Ahmed. Go to YouTube, and he's got very good videos, and he breaks down Darwinian theory. And there's check him out. And there's another guy called Sheikh Uthman Ali. Check him out as well. So they really break down Darwinian theory, and they show how it's not scientific at all. It's actually, the opposite to that. How would we deal with convinced liberal? Yeah. So check out. So I would say check out his videos. I'm not an expert on Darwinian theory, and I don't know if you are. If you've done a lot of research on this, I haven't done much research, so I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact differences, because there's Darwinian theory, then there's neo-Darwinian theory, and then there's like lots of people who have different opinions about this. So a lot of this is not a fact. It's philosophy. It's a theory. Yeah, so there's nothing in the Quran that contradicts science. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. I can 100% say that without any sort of shak or doubt. Yeah, Allah. Sorry, no problem. No need to apologize to me, bro. I'm just surprised, mashallah, you know a lot of these things. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know much about like Salafi movement or a lot of their books. I haven't read that kind of literature. A lot of you guys ask me questions, and I wish I had read a lot of these books so I can know more stuff and maybe give you insights. But unfortunately, time, I've got to do other things. I got to ride bikes for 40 miles, 40-mile rides. Yeah, whereas science agrees that all life evolved from water, which is correct. Quran says so evolution can be proved, but not Darwin's theory. The issue with regards to like Adam alayhi salam, was Adam alayhi salam like another form of a creature and then he evolved? That is where like there are some scholars who sort of like they make scope for that, they make room for that opinion. But this is not the mass opinion. The mass scholars say no, we don't accept this, because Allah in the Quran says that Allah created Adam himself. He was created as a unique creation himself. Yeah, Allah. Yeah, so you need to bring your cats on your live stream. Yeah, I know. I need to, See, I don't have them in my house. They're in my parents' house. So I was actually supposed to go today, but after Jummah, I had a visitor, and I was spending some time with the visitor, and then I had to go live stream. So yeah, but yeah, I'd like to bring them. They're proper nice. They're really cute and nice. Actually, can I just try to find them somewhere? No, I can't. Yeah, they're proper nice. Really cute. Yeah, well, I'll do that. Maybe on this weekend, I'll probably make a video. I'll take my GoPro and I'll make a little video of them. And you guys can see, because they're starting to open their eyes now and they're starting to crawl a bit. So when you have kittens at that stage, they're like quite sort of slow. They don't do much. They just want to drink milk all day from their mom. And then after about now, this week probably or next week, they're gonna start to walk a bit. Once they start walking, that's it. Then they just like run around, and then they become cute. Then you can like fight them, and you tickle their bellies, and they start attacking you. They don't hurt you. They just behave like animals. Wa alaikum assalam, Mullah, ahla wa sahlan, mashallah, mashallah, ahla wa sahlan. How's things, bro? How's the work going? Are you alone in the office again? Enjoying your Friday afternoon, relaxing office time? Yeah, I remember once when I was in I've actually never worked in an office like that. Like I worked in an office, but not like that kind of office. I remember once when I was in work experience in school. Work experience. That was when 2 weeks. I don't know if they still have work experience. So work experience in school, they would have basically send you out somewhere. You got to choose where you want to where you think you're gonna work or what kind of occupation. I didn't get the one that I wanted, and then did I? I can't remember. They sent me to this big factory, right, which was like about a 10-minute walk from my house. And then 1 week I spent in this the factory area where they were making molds for things. So like a phone, like the case covering and all those things. This was before mobile phones became popular, and they were like all they would do all day is just like molding and stuff, and it was just like so weird working with these people. And they had like one of the things that was strange was like in one of the rooms they had like nude pictures everywhere, and that was the first time I actually got shocked. Like in an open place, they got nude pictures everywhere. And then that was 1 week, and then the second week was I was working in this like office area designing, computer designing, and all we did all day was just sit on the computers and play games. So it wasn't much of a work experience. Ottoman lad, Jazakallah khair, Ya Sheikh, your answers help. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I got the opportunity to pray out in the open under a big tent in my mosque, and mashallah, it was really windy. Sukoon, mashallah, mashallah. Sounds really relaxing, that does. Do you think we are living in the time of Imam Mahdi? And I know you'll say only Allah does. You said it before I said it. That's 100% true, but do the completion of science. It seems as though, yeah, it seems as though. That's what it seems like. I mean, when we say in the times could mean in 100, 200, 500 years' time. That's what in the times could mean as well. But yeah, it seems as though from the signs, it seems that's happening. But the strange thing with the signs the Prophet ﷺ gives is people can interpret them according to what they see in their time. Because as times are getting worse as they go along, people, I think this is a very common thing. I bet people 500 years ago would look at the signs and think, oh, look at these are signs as well. Yeah. So I think signs are another thing that become very subjective sometimes. But do the completion of the minor signs make it a possibility that he is here now? It all depends on what we mean by completion of the minor signs. So yeah, possibly. Allah knows best, possibly. I remember when you used to bring Catty when she was a little kitten and she would do disruptive. Then she was banned. Yeah, that's true. I had to ban her because you guys saw what happened when she used to come jumping here and there and right. Sheikh, how to raise Muslim children Islamically in a liberal society? I have no idea. I don't have children myself, so I wouldn't be able to. The best to ask about that, I think, is people who have children. They'd be able to sort of help you with that. And there was I think I saw online, I think I saw an advertisement of some scholars doing some children tarbiyah programs. I think maybe best to kind of look at that. Staff development today. So at home, alhamdulillah. So what does staff development mean? Does it mean just stay at home? There's a bunch of activities to get everyone together remotely. Oh, so you remotely you play like games online. You play like I Spy, My Light. Is that what they do? You need to learn some of these, man. And us guys, all of us need to do staff development day. Yeah, so this weekend, hopefully weather should be good, so I can do some more cycling, riding. What kind of things do you guys want to see? What kind of scenery do you guys want to see? Because if you can tell me, then maybe I can plan and go on some routes, show you guys some scenes. What would interest you? Yeah, Allah. Yeah, so I've been just hopefully today, inshallah, got podcast today. So Arabic podcast. For those of you guys who follow the Arabic podcast, I don't know how many of you guys are into the Arabic podcasts. Do you guys watch them? Do you guys find them something interesting to listen to? And I still haven't decided about the putting the podcast as an audio. I still need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But at the moment, not too sure about how to go about that. But inshallah, I should soon have something sorted. And Ramadan's coming up as well, and I'm not too sure again about what to have in Ramadan. Now, what kind of series to do. So I'm going to have to look into that. Why do Malikis pray with their hands dangling? Is it permissible? Yes. In fact, that was a position of many tabi'in. Yeah, it's reported from many tabi'in. In fact, even Ibrahim al-Nakhai had an opinion where you have your hands dangling down. Yeah. So there's like Malikis basically say that a lot of the scholars in Medina never used to pray, that the children of Sahaba, they never used to pray with the hands folded. They used to pray with the hands down. So it seems as though there was like permissibility for this. But the Hanafis say that it's more preferred to have your hands folded. This is the preferred position. So there were like valid tabi'in who actually used to, and it's mentioned about the Ahlul Bayt, they used to not have their hands folded. But Sheikh, how a scholar or anyone 500 years ago would interpret the hadith of barefoot Bedouins building tall buildings? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I mean, see, we can see now in this kind of thing, isn't it? Barefoot Bedouins, we're kind of looking at Dubai and we're looking at these kind of people. But we don't know all of history. So when we look at history, we only see like little specks in history. And we think that's all that happened in history. But in reality, in history, there were like lots of things that happened in history. So, I mean, is there any other future interpretation of the barefoot Bedouins building tall buildings? Like imagine literally barefoot Bedouins start to build tall buildings. Like imagine like it's like a Mad Max kind of scenario. And there's like these Bedouins and it's like this dystopian society. And they're building this. Would that be a more accurate description of this hadith? So that's why, this is something which is like we are at the moment interpreting this and saying, oh, the people of Saudi Arabia, they used to be Bedouins and they're building it, right? Which is a kind of good application of the hadith, but it's not something that we can say is categorical. It's end of the day, it's an interpretation. Escape rooms are very good. Yeah, I've heard of those, isn't it? I've heard of those. I'm just going to see maybe that might be, because I'm thinking of doing it for something for our teachers, where I teach and so far, having some sort of like activities that we can do. Escape rooms, yeah. That reminds me of Crystal Maze. I don't know if any of you guys used to watch Crystal Maze. Luqman, ahla wa sahlan wa alaykum assalam. Luqman, mashallah, mashallah. Mubarak. I was in the second Arabic podcast. How long was the wait? I was in the second Arabic podcast. How long was the wait? You were in the second one, and how long was the wait? What do you mean? You mean you had to wait a long time? Hadiqa, ahla wa sahlan, wa alaykum assalam, mashallah, mashallah. How are you? How's school and your studies and your assignments and enjoying a bit? You're happy at the weekends come now. Gonna rest, relax. I know when I used to go to school, I remember when Friday used to come, I used to just like play outside. Just go outside, play, get with my mates, get our bikes, go riding, play football, jump into people's gardens, pick berries. I'm very good, thank you very much. What do Malikis read for tashahud? They read tashahud, at-tahiyatu, but they've got their slightly different variation. So basically, the at-tahiyatu lillahi wa salat, there's multiple variations amongst the Sahaba that they used to recite. Whichever one you recite, they're all permissible. But the Hanafis take the Ibn Mas'ud version. Shafis, I think they take the Ibn Abbas version. I think Malikis might take Ibn Umar version. 30 live streams Ramadan series. That's gonna be a killer. That is. I think that might be a bit of a killer. Not really. So we do competitions between different divisions in the business. For example, one of the activities was to recreate a movie scene using things. Oh, that would be funny, man. I'd love to see you do that. I'd love to see you in that. What you'd come up with in the kitchen. Is the wait? So what could tell us? Tell us what was your scene? Is the wait for getting into another one? Oh, what's the wait? I mean, if you email me beforehand, I think this week I don't think there's anyone that has emailed to join this week. There might have been a few people. Yeah, let me check. No, there's no one this weekend. So if someone was to email this week to join, then inshallah they could join. Hopefully. वालेकुम अस्सलाम शरियार अहला व सहलन क्या हाल है खैरियत से है. Crystal Maze not the same without the bold presenter. Yeah, what was his name, man? His name was the bold presenter in Crystal Maze. Anyone remember the name? I gotta Google it. Sorry, I gotta cheat here. Bold presenter Crystal Maze. Yeah, someone's already searched for it. Richard O'Brien. How can I forget that? Richard O'Brien. What should be our opinion and reaction to Raful Yadayn? According to Hanafis, it's preferred not to. But if a person was to do it, then there wouldn't be a problem. So it's preferred not to do it, the Hanafis say. What are the evidences of performing Raful Yadayn in the Hanafi madhab for not performing? So positions are that most the people of Kufa didn't do it. The Sahaba of Kufa. It's not reported from any of them that they used to do it. And senior Sahaba didn't do it. So this is why it seems as though it's a left practice. Abdullah bin Zubayr has reported that Prophet ﷺ used to do and then he stopped doing it. So yeah, that's the main thing, that majority of Sahaba are not. It's like if it's something which was done on a 5-day daily basis, you'd expect lots of Sahaba to narrate this. When we don't. How to be consistent in obedience to Allah? Good question. It's a very hard question. In fact, I don't even know the answer to this. Allah knows best. I mean, try to read Quran, try to obey your parents, listen to your parents. You got to do bit by bit. Qatra qatra se samandar banta hai. No, but I've managed to cut my finger warming up dal chawal in the microwave. You cut your finger warming up dal chawal in the microwave? How did you do that? Musab, what is your plan for the 15th night? I don't know, Allah Alam. I know what day is the 15th night. Gotta see. Yeah, I mean, it's not obligatory. It's not something obligatory which you have to do. It's something recommended. So if I do get a chance, inshallah, I'll try to read some Quran maybe. And any sort of good sort of action that you do. So our team did Titanic, but using Rose and Jack as wooden spoon in the sink. Would we conquer Jerusalem and liberate Masjid al-Aqsa in the near future? Inshallah. I hope so, inshallah. Inshallah ta'ala. But there's no mention of it. There's no mention of Masjid al-Aqsa being liberated. So, ya Allah. Yeah, so what else has happened this week as well? I don't know. I mean, I've been has anyone had the jab? Someone's actually telling me today, he's a guy, he's probably about my age, just a bit older than me. He's had both jabs and he's not even he doesn't even have underlying issues. And the reason being is because the area that he lives in, a lot of people are not having the jab. So he said he went with his mother to get the jab, and they said to him, if you want the jab, you can have it as well. So people just give him the jab, otherwise the jabs will get wasted. Assalamu alaikum, Ismail Hussein. Have you been watching the debate between Mufti Laf and Abdul Halim and Usman? Oh, you mean Abu Layth? No, I haven't. I don't I don't watch these kind of things. Like, first of all, I don't have time to watch these things. I think they're a waste of time. To me, I think debates are all a waste of time. And, you know, obviously Abu Layth, I wouldn't advise anyone to listen to him. So I think it's just a lot of people like entertainment. So I don't know if you guys are entertaining people, you like watching these kind of things, but I think that, these kind of things have an effect spiritually. They have an effect on people. Getting involved in these kind of debates and the kind of stuff that Abu Layth comes out with, and I think people should be very, very careful of their faith, their iman, their spirituality online. So yeah, I'd avoid it totally. Who was Imam Jafar as-Sadiq? Why don't we take fiqh from him as well? Imam Jafar as-Sadiq was a well-known tabi'i. He was Jafar. He was basically the son or the nephew of Muhammad al-Baqir. Now, the problem is there were many tabi'een who were very well known. But the thing was, not all their works had been documented. So that's the problem. So, for example, like you had Hassan al-Basri, you had Sa'id Musayyib, you had Salim, you had Nafi', you had Sa'id bin Jubair, you had Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, but their fiqh wasn't recorded, sadly. So as time goes by, when fiqh is not recorded, we don't know too much about them. But people like Imam Malik, his fiqh was recorded. Abu Hanifa, his fiqh was recorded. Shafi's fiqh was... So when the fiqh got recorded, their sort of approaches became more popular. And so it became easier to follow. Whether ijazat there, I need to eat. Yeah, go for it, bro. Go for it. Take care, inshallah. Go for it. Have a rest. Yeah, so that's unfortunately what tends to happen with fiqh, with scholars in the past. Like, imagine we had the fiqh of Umar radiallahu anhu. If you had the fiqh of Umar radiallahu anhu, authentic fiqh of Umar, that would have been the most solid fiqh that you can get. Because he was the closest to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obviously. If you had the fiqh of Abu Bakr, that would have been the best thing. But unfortunately, historically, that's what happens with fiqh. It only reigns with dedicated students. Yeah, so a teacher could be an expert teacher, but if his fiqh doesn't remain, if no one documents his fiqh, the fiqh dies with him when he dies. And that's what happened to a lot of scholars in the past. Abdurrahman al-Awza'i had a madhab. Layth bin Sa'd had a stronger madhab than Imam Malik even. But Imam Shafi says Layth's students didn't do justice to his fiqh. They didn't preserve his fiqh. Ahla wa sahlan, mashallah, Anwar Siddiqi, ahla wa sahlan, alaykum assalam. I'm very good, thank you very much. How are you? How was your Jummah? Did you have a post Jummah biryani today? Oh, I don't know. What do you have normally? Is it like something that you have after Jummah? I remember in Karachi, it was like Jummah, biryani, lassi. These are like common things. After Jummah, just pray your Jummah, hot day, go buy some biryani, and then you buy some lassi, and then you eat the biryani, drink the lassi, and just go to sleep until Asr. Put the fan on. Nice, relaxing, hot day. Yeah, that was a nice lazy, they say, a lazy afternoon. That would be the best lazy afternoon. Is it possible to fast on 15th Sha'ban specifically based on this hadith? Some are saying it's weak, whereas إذا كانت ليلة النصف من شعبان فقوموا ليلها وصوموا نهارها. Yeah, this is a weak narration. So it's very weak. That's the problem. So when a narration is very weak, according to Ibn Hajar rahimahullah, he says you can't even act upon it for virtue. If a person was just to act like the way around this would be a person fasts on the 15th with the intention of fasting the one of the 3 days of the middle of the month, Ayyam al-Bid. But yeah, I mean, it's a weak hadith, very weak hadith. Is following nationalism haram? I mean, depends. What do you mean by nationalism? Like, is it supporting of your country? There's nothing wrong with support your country. But if you believe supporting your country, you support your country in all situations, even if you have to disobey Allah, then that nationalism is wrong. The same, like the supporting your country would be something like, anything in Islam, as long it's allowed, as long as it's not about disobeying Allah. Do you know much about Sheikh Abu Ala al-Mawdudi? I've read some of his works. The thing was, he wasn't a scholar in the sense that he had ijazas like we understand a normal scholar in the sciences. So he was a very politically motivated like individual, and the Muslim Brotherhood and other sort of organizations. So this is why he has certain like the way that he writes is a very good, a proficient writer. Problem is the way he describes certain things. He it's very like disturbing the way that he describes them because he's not an expert in hadith or he's not an expert in tafsir, and then he'll give his own sort of like understanding. So you see elements of, for example, i'tizal, mu'tazila in the way that he sort of like explains certain things. So this is why it would be best for a learner, a beginner, to avoid reading like his advanced things that he talks about. Yeah, so that's all I would say. But if you're someone who's studied, then you can read his books. You can benefit from his writing, his afkar, his understanding. But it's just one of those kind of ones. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, mashallah. I had curry pakora. Oh, curry pakora. I haven't had that for a long time. But yes, in Pakistan, biryani every Fridays is the norm. Is it true that Imam Jaffar Assad taught Imam Hanifa for 2 years? Yeah, he was actually a very close student of Imam Jafar Sadiq. Yeah, he was a very close student of his. And in fact, there's actually a book which is called Al-Majmu'ah, which is attributed to Imam Jafar Sadiq. Yeah, it's called Majmu'ah. And I remember coming across a copy of this online once. And I checked it, and it's very similar to Hanafi fiqh. Extremely similar, you can say. Uncanny. Sheikh, a very important question. The matter of establishing Khilafah in contemporary times, the scholars are split in two. One says that we don't need it. Second position seems stronger. Okay. Ustad, if one is making ghusl or wudu from a bucket. Sorry, Zaid, I didn't understand what the question was. So if one is making ghusl or wudu from a bucket and the water droplets splash back into the... No, it's fine. Because the water that drips off your limbs, according to the stronger position in the Hanafi school, is considered clean. So if it drops in the bucket, it's fine. It won't make the water impure. Sheikh, what are your thoughts on the Ottoman Caliphate? I haven't studied the Ottoman Caliphate in detail, but Alhamdulillah, I mean, they did lots of good things. But I haven't studied in detail. There's always goods and bad. You'll always, historically, if you read anything about any of the Muslim like leadership in the past, you'll always find the good things that they've done, and you'll always find bad things they've done as well, right? So no one's perfect except for, the best Khilafah was the Khilafah Rashida, Khulafa Rashidin. That was the best Khilafah ever. And every Khilafah after that has always been plagued with problems. So, Umayyad Khilafah was like all sorts of things were happening, good things and bad things as well. Same with Abbasis and others. So I wouldn't really. I mean, I am not a historian, so I haven't really kind of studied all of the literature on Ottoman Khilafah to be able to say anything. But it's bound to be things in there which are good, definitely, and there's bound to be things in there which are bad, oppressions that were done. You get the same with, for example, like the Saudi leadership of Saudi Arabia. There was lots of good things done. There's also bad things they've done. Same you had with the Muslim rule in Spain. Lots of good things, lots of bad things. There's actually, in fact, historically, there's actually been very rarely that there's been one Khilafah over the world, apart from the early century, the first century of Islam. After that, Khilafah was just like broken to pieces. You had multiple Khilafahs taking place. And Khilafah was basically just like a government system. And you had like Muslim Khilafahs, you had like at one time 4 or 5 Khilafahs at one time on the world, on the planet. And they used to like fight each other as well. That's a sad thing. Yeah, Allah. Anyway, I think my time here is up. So Jazakumullah khair for tuning in, guys. Much respect to all of you guys. I pray that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Tomorrow, inshallah, is going to be... Oh yeah, tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it on time for the... I'm not sure if I'll make it time for the live Q&A. So it might be delayed, or it might even be postponed. I'm not too sure. So I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. Hopefully, inshallah, I should have have a what's it tomorrow live stream tomorrow. But if it is, then it might be delayed a bit. Yeah, it might be like maybe like 9:30, quarter to 10, or 10 o'clock even. So I want to try to keep it tomorrow, inshallah, even if it's for an hour. But yeah, we'll see, inshallah, what happens. Jazakallah khair, Ottoman lad. Wa iyaakum. Take care, bro. Are there in Hanafi madhab scale works that if you contradict them, it's no longer the madhab like the madhab of the Hanabila? Yeah, kind of, yeah. There's something like that. So basically, the way that the madhab works, it's very, very, very like complex. And then the way that fatwa works is even more complex of which opinion you can take to give fatwa. So fatwa is actually much different than the madhab. The madhab is something and fatwa is something else. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, they seem to think that whatever the madhab says, that's what people are expected to do. But in a lot of cases it's different. The fatwa can actually sort of like be slightly different from the madhab. Yeah, so hopefully, inshallah, I'll try to, I don't know, maybe make some sort of like a video on that. I always get these ideas of making like videos on like very important points, but sometimes I think to myself, maybe this is too advanced for some people. And maybe, I don't know how much these people have studied to be able to appreciate these little subtle points. But yeah, Abdullah, I mean, there is definitely certain criteria for something to be able to consider part of the madhab, and certain things which are called shadh of the madhab, an opinion which is like outright rejected by Hanafis. Yeah, so you do get that. Thank you. May Allah bless you, James. Ahlan wa sahlan. Take care, bro. Take care, inshallah. Best age to get married. It sounds as though you're ready, bro. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. It sounds as though you're ready, bro. All right, guys. Anyway, inshallah, jazakallah khair, Anwar, ma'asalama. Inshallah, that would be great, inshallah ta'ala. All right, guys. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.